Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. It still is
Welcome.
morning everywhere in the US, right?
Just give a minute for everyone to join, but we're delighted to have you with us this morning for our debut sneak peek of our Tech Ready Mentor APM Asset Lens and Collector. All right.
Hopefully nobody is in a bad way at all from recovering from Helena, the hurricane on the East Coast. So those of you who are out
Yeah.
in that neck of the woods, particularly the Carolinas, et cetera, that seem to suffer a loss, we're sympathetic, and hopefully everything is good and well with your families.
All right. Well, I'm going to get us started here because we want to respect your time. Very likely that we'll be done quite quickly, but welcome, as I said, to the Mentor APM Asset Lens and Collector preview. We're very excited to show this new solution to you. And I'm just going to move to the next slide. So today in the webinar, we're going to give you a quick background. We've got a lot of people on here who may not be familiar with Mentor APM and what we do. We will show you Asset Lens and Collector, tell you a little bit about what's coming next, and there'll be time at the end for questions and answers. So please use the Q&A function, should be in your top menu or bottom menu to enter any questions that you have, and we'll be sure to get those answered at the end. So just a little background on Mentor APM. Our platform was built out of the experience of Tacoma and John, our co-founders, working in and with utilities responsible for assets, deploying enterprise asset management solutions, and their frontline frustrations with the solutions that were out there. And they really saw the opportunity to build the kind of asset management system that water utilities need. And so in 2017, we launched Mentor APM, and our mission is to provide utilities with the very best end-to-end asset management solution that includes embedded knowledge, tools for excellence, and will help you achieve excellence in managing your assets. It is uniquely designed for water and process industries and can handle all the things that you need to do. Many of you are managing networks and treatment, so we handle both vertical and horizontal assets. So what is our platform? It is an end-to-end asset management system that covers everything you need to do from managing your daily work orders up through planning and devising risk-based capital plans, all in a single connected platform. This graphic along the bottom just shows you that we're built on a foundation of asset management intelligence and guidance. We have all the capabilities that you would expect in a CMMS for managing asset information and work. Layered into that, we have extensive asset performance management capabilities, including risk and criticality analysis, PM optimization, all supported by our libraries, and then our asset investment planning. Just a quick highlight of some of those features. Our work and maintenance management is supported by GIS and mobile, works out in the field, fully connected, disconnected. Our asset performance management, as I mentioned, is supported by asset libraries of 350 plus asset models to give you decision support for repair, replace decisions you need to make. We have a risk and criticality analysis framework and tool built into the platform. It allows you to do a multivariable analysis, and our asset investment planning tool that is fed by the criticality and risk analysis to help you compare and develop risk-driven capital plans. So all of this is available as an enterprise platform, but we also have standalone solutions. So some of the capabilities I just highlighted there are mobile, our criticality analyzer, and our asset investment planner are all available as standalone point solutions that can be integrated with your existing EAM. Adding to that, we now have Asset Lens, a new point solution that can be deployed alone. I'm going to turn it over to Tacoma now.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So just as a matter of context, everything you saw from Jen just now was, a large, fully featured enterprise asset management software. But what we're going to talk about now is also a complete standalone application that is designed for anybody. One of the things that why did we build this is, and it's always sort of good to know the backstory, we actually use our tech. And I was actually out at a particular customer doing an asset walk down using our our existing still asset collector technology in a mobile environment. And even though it was quick and we got through like 1,500 assets in like just over a week, I felt it wasn't fast enough. And we, having come from the operations business, we feel the pain of having to build registers and have the registers accurate, et cetera. So we just thought, we've got to make this thing faster. We've got to go after the stuff that just sucks up people's time and that just makes things either an impediment or they just, it's too expensive. So in that sense, we basically said, we need to address this. And so that's what we've done. So I am just super excited to show you guys what we have built and how this works for any organization. So it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, how sophisticated you are. We have tried to make this brain dead simple to use. And it doesn't matter what software you're using right now. This isn't a replacement or anything. This is you can use this, whether you're using Maximo or you're using CityWorks or Lucity or whatever it ends up being. So I'm just going to share the video here at this point and show you what we've done. There were some bandwidth issues, so we decided to go this route this morning. And if you can't hear it, let me know. I'm going to try and maximize my volume. Here we go.
Collecting asset data is costly. It's time consuming and it's hard to get it accurate, especially since it often depends on who goes out and does it. We want to show you how we are solving it for you with Mentor APM's Asset Collector Asset Lens. Mentor APM's Asset Lens's unique ability is to start with a blank slate and create a register from the field. We've tried to make this as simple as taking a few photos. In the app, simply select Asset Collector, select which kind of photo you want to take, asset tag, plate data, or condition. In this case, we're going to select some photos from the library on our phone. It could just as easily be the camera. And once they're selected, they're automatically uploaded for review to make sure that you've got all the photos that you need. We may also want to capture asset tag information. So it's the same process, either the library or new photos. After upload, the software automatically captures and identifies the tag ID information. We can zoom in to validate that it is actually correct. All that's left to do then is to identify what kind of asset it is, give it a name, as well as a description. And once that's been accomplished, we pretty well just hit submit, and that record has been created against the register. Just give it a second here to update through the cell network. At this point, we may want to validate that the information is there. So we would move to the Collected tab, identify the asset we've just been dealing with, open it up, and validate that the information's actually there. We might also be faced with the opportunity to capture additional photo information like plate data, which could then be used for Asset Lens to do some of its magic. And we can also confirm that the asset registers is in fact being developed by going to the main app and opening up the register, and there we can see all the records that we have created with photos as well as the tag IDs in short order. But the real magic is Mentor APM's Asset Lens's ability to capture detailed condition and plate data just from a few photos. For this part, we'll call up Asset Lens, we'll aim it at the organization that we're interested in, that we're working in. We'll download the photos that are of interest and we'll submit them for analysis. We select the photo that we're interested in analyzing for plate data. We select plate extraction, and in a few seconds, that information is displayed on the left-hand side. It is matched against typical attributes, what you would find for that kind of asset, and there's often additional information beyond the typical attribute list that is also presented. Extracting condition information is just as simple. We select the photo that we're interested in and then submit it for condition assessment. And again, in seconds, the information is displayed on the left-hand side, a level 2 assessment plus recommendations. We're going to give this a go on a few more assets from an existing asset register. Pulling from a large list of photos collected from a library, we will look for the asset by selecting it on the top. Select the photo we want to analyze. Again, in this case, we're going to go for nameplate extraction. Once it's been provided, we'll have an opportunity to review it, check it for accuracy. Assuming everything looks good, we can update an existing record with this field captured plate data. Simply select the photo and record, choose to update mentor, confirm the selection, and in seconds that information is against the asset record. To confirm, we'll just go to the register. I've pre-selected that asset, and there they are. It's that simple, just by taking a photo. Let's try this one more time on an asset known to be in particularly poor condition. Again, we'll go into our asset library or take a photo of the asset in question. And again, in seconds, you'll have a calibrated condition assessment and detailed recommendations. You can see that the asset is rated a 4 in this case, with some rationale to justify that scoring, as well as, of course, the recommendations for what to do about it. What I hope you've seen so far is that Mentor APM's Asset Collector and Asset Lens can build a register from the field, gather asset details in seconds, validate asset information like plate, condition, and tags in the time it takes to snap a few photos.
Jen?
All right. So Tacoma, what is next?
Couple of things coming next, actually. One is thermography on asset conditions. We've already been, we're very far down the road on that one, pretty well in beta at this point. We're just working on the calibrations to the libraries. Also automatically capturing O&M materials, manuals, maintenance manuals, ops manuals, as well as spare parts, and assigning those properly to the assets. And then the last step will be integrating this condition assessment from Lens with the other condition assessments that we capture from SCADA and IoT devices and handheld devices to go out. I think originally you saw the sawtooth curve, et cetera, so that it's a comprehensive, unified solution at the end of the day. One of the key things that we just love about the thermography is that it provides one of the 3 key things for dynamic rotating assets. So that just sort of fleshes that analysis out even more, and just like that. And the other thing too is it automatically brings in all the electrical equipment. You're looking at either amp draws or Megring. Thermography is a key element for electrical, and this just does this. It takes one of the big 3 variables that you're looking for and brings it immediately into Mentor. So it really allows what we're so excited about is that anybody can use this. It's literally down to the notion of taking some photos, and we can export the file to either flat file or some other format if you're interested, or just have it available through a Mentor access. But the other part too is then being able to do condition assessments, on a multiple times a year if you want for a facility. And if somebody knows how to run a phone, send them out. You don't have to send a very expensive person out there. So that's a little bit about what's next.
Great. So we're going to move into questions and answers. I'll have you drop them in the chat. And so one of our first questions is how difficult is this to deploy? How much training, how much hand holding is needed to get this up and running?
Um, well, one, we set the organization up. We show you how to log into the phone app, and then it's probably about 3 minutes of training to say, here, click this, show this some of the navigation. If training takes more than 5 minutes, then that person's never known how to run a phone before. The other part is as far as doing the export, that's pretty simple. That takes a couple minutes just to show, on the main app where to do the export from, a little bit of navigation. So I'd say total about maybe 15 minutes of training would be required. We would provide, of course, a video log of it as well. But we have gone from the user's perspective. We have started from the user's perspective and said, here's what I got to do. Here's how simple I want this to be. And that's what we forced the dev team to comply with. Steve Jobs did a talk back in, when was it? 98, I think it was, where he basically said the same thing. It was like, we start with the user and work backwards. And that's what we've tried with this application.
Okay, so I have some more questions coming in. From George, says, looks like thermography will address temperature. Can you address capturing vibration and noise?
Well, if you're going to do vibration, you're going to need a vibration analyzer, usually SCADA, and noise. We have not yet looked at using the native sound quality or sound capture on a mobile device, but that is an awesome idea, and that's probably something that we should take a look at. So I like that idea. Thank you, George. We will work on that come Q1 of next year.
And I think that's a good opportunity to talk about what, this is, I think you've said a level 2 visual inspection condition assessment, or?
It's a level 2 plus. Everybody that we've shown this to who is knowledgeable and experienced in the field, who's done, condition assessments for years or decades even, they've all said this may not be level 4, but it's definitely beyond level 2, bridging into level 3. So we're willing to sign on the dotted line for level 2 plus.
And that next level of engaging in vibration and noise, that would also, be part of that integration with additional condition assessment functionality we've got in the larger app.
Yeah, this is designed to replace vibration analysis or SCADA sensing with IoT devices, etc., pressure excursions, that sort of stuff. What this is intended to provide is a very quick, very easy deployable solution for people who have to come up with an asset management plan. You got to go out and find out what your assets are, what condition those assets are in, build a register if you don't even have one, but also provide an ongoing, easy to use visual condition assessment, and then with thermography, obviously, that next level as well. So it's designed from the very first baby steps through to being part of a comprehensive, ongoing condition assessment program.
Right. I've got some more questions. Quick one from Felicia. Do you need Wi-Fi or cellular service while in the field?
No. The answer to that question is no. Now, it's better to have that, but we have a lot of stuff deployed onto the mobile device as well, so that you'll be able to capture all those photos that you're looking for and do a small part of the analysis, not the heavy lift of doing detailed condition assessment or plate data extraction. But no, you can capture everything you want out in the field and then just take care of it once you get back.
I was just going to say, so part of the workflow is going out, getting the photos. You can do some initial analysis in the field to validate, but then on your laptop, you then perform all the condition assessment, nameplate extraction, et cetera. Okay. Yeah. David Clark asks, what kind of assets does this work well with? Will it work on HVAC systems within a building, or is it limited to typical water utility assets?
It works on anything. We have tried this on pool equipment, HVAC equipment, what do you call it? Large electrical, small electrical stuff, transformers, power panels, all that sort of stuff. So if it exists in space, you can use it against that.
Great. And Greg asks, will this track asset lifecycle cost using parts, man hours? etc.?
The larger Mentor APM app would do that. So this is a data gathering application to fit into whatever it is that you are currently using. And if you're not having success, or you don't have a tool set that you like very much, Mentor APM can provide that. But it is designed to pretty well provide the information. So like I said, Mentor APM does the rest of that kind of stuff. And maybe you've already got a sophisticated software that does, but
Yeah, and Greg, if you want to, anybody who would like a demo of additional capabilities, just reach out. We'll get a discovery call and demo set up for you to show how we address life cycle costing and other life cycle activities.
I will say that the data fields that Mentor, the main app, normally has for installed cost, in-service date, all those typical details, they are available in the field to be filled out if you have that information. We didn't show it in the app, but there is a little field that when you're checking on the quality of the information that you got in, you can open up all those fields up, and if you want to, you can add that in the field if it's available. That includes information that would end up getting used for lifecycle.
Okay, a couple more questions. Can the collected data and photos be exported into a spreadsheet for upload into another software?
Yes, so the information can be exported to a CSV file. Sometimes there's challenges with the photos for that. We can use other formats as well. Preferred solution is actually just do a quick integration with whatever software that you are using so that it automatically goes into the right fields. That way, you eliminate another manual step. And as information comes in from the Mentor Field app, it would automatically update your main application that you're preferring to use. So we would recommend that's the preferred option.
So, and then Adam is interested in knowing what technology is being used to generate the condition scores and recommendations.
So there's a lot of new tech out there. We are very, very cautious about when we take recommendations and we take asset management and reliability extremely seriously. We're RCM minded, and we've been doing this thing for decades. So we have a term internally where we talk about responsible technology and even responsible AI. So there's a number of technologies that we are using that are calibrated against our libraries. We have pre-existing condition libraries already. So whatever tool sets that we are using, and however many we are using a lot because they cross-validate, and checks and balance on each other so that we're really comfortable with the outputs, then that information resides and stays within Mentor. It does not go back out into the wild. A key thing for us is to not just use technology irresponsibly, but we calibrate, engage it, and force it to comply with the already developed and built out libraries that we have.
Yeah, and just to elaborate on that a little bit, our asset models and libraries that mentioned at the beginning are part of the entire platform, but those are physics and first principles based. So they are very solid foundation. Okay, some more questions here. George, sorry, my questions are jumping. For water transmission and distribution system appurtenances or assets, can you capture approximate location data, understanding the limited precision of phone-based GPS?
Yes, we can. In fact, that's been a big question because Apple actually made some changes, but we've managed to have a workaround to that. So yes, we can reattach all GPS with the accuracy of the phone. We can reattach all that information. Great question.
So Felicia is asking if the recording will be available after today's webinar. Yes, it will. Please email me if you do not get the link. But yes, we want to make that available to you and your teams. Jim wants to know, does the app have a voice interface?
So we actually prefer to use native capabilities of whatever device you're using. So I think if you were watching, you'll notice that I typed in the name of the asset, but I used the microphone to describe what's going on. And we've deliberately done that because in the field, sometimes people have gloves on. Sometimes they're not able to type, or it just makes it difficult. So we're really wanting to have the skill sets required to use the app so basic that all you need to do is be able to press the microphone button, select something, press the mic, and speak into it. And as far as
Jim's follow-up question is, does the app speak back to you in Tacoma's voice? We're working on that.
yeah,
Have
Jen,
him right out in the field with you. Kathleen is asking, are there utilities already using this technology? So this is in beta. It has already been tested and proven in the field, and it's building on, Tacoma had mentioned, our original asset collector capabilities, which several organizations have already used to build their asset register from scratch. So yes, it is in use. This new asset lens is just being released this month, but it has been proven in the field. Greg Coulter says,
let me just piggyback on that. Sorry.
We've got a few.
Okay. Well, just real quick about the tech. We are actually using it at one of our biggest customers right now for our own purposes and our own obligations. So the accuracy has to be very high. So the answer to the question is actually a considered yes.
Okay. And then Greg comments, I work for Rural Water. Small systems in Colorado are required to have an asset management and condition assessment plan. Is this affordable for small systems? Where would the data be stored? Excel, CSV, GIS? Asset lens and photos will definitely quicken the process. So a couple of comments on that for you, Greg. First, our pricing is scaled to the size of the organization. So that's definitely something we would want to discuss with you in working with the small rural water systems. I also want to point you to, if you haven't been on our website, we have a whole state asset management resource that outlines resources that are available and what obligations different states are asking their systems to deliver for asset management. If somebody does not have a system, they can have that output, like Tacoma was saying, in a flat file. We can integrate with their, we regularly integrate with Esri or whatever map system they might be using. Is there anything you want to add to that, Tacoma?
Yeah. In fact, if you want, I mean, you saw when I went into the register just to validate all that stuff was there. That would come with it. So you could access it online and then export from there if you want, or you could just stay in the application. It's a little bit limited unless you wanted to use it for CMMS work and all that other stuff. But if you're just wanting to see the register and the outputs and stuff, I guess it's all there available. And you could just use any browser to get to it.
So, and that brings up a really good point we would love to emphasize is that while Mentor APM is a very feature-rich and capable platform, it scales, and it can scale down and scale up. We've really built this to serve organizations of any size. We had one last question. Will the recording include the questions and answers? Yes, it will. And if you have additional questions, please feel free to contact us. You can reach out through the website or email me, Jennifer at Mentor APM, and we'll get back in touch with you, set up a call, or get you the information you need. You also have the opportunity to meet up with us at WEFTEC and SMRP next week, two big conferences. We will have booths there. At WEFTEC, we're serving coffee and beignets, so come join us for sure. And then please follow us on LinkedIn.
What about SMRP? Okay, you did mention that. So
I did mention it.
Okay, I'll be at SMRP, and the rest of the team is going to be over at WEFTEC.
We've got two teams going to two different cities next week. Please do follow us on LinkedIn. We regularly post updates and new information and helpful links. That covers all our questions, and we're coming up to the end of our time here. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to speaking with you, meeting with some of you next week, and stay tuned for what's next.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time.